All right, let's continue our example. So again, we just got done, right, using one of our zeros from our quartic polynomial, which was what, the zero of -3, which again produced a factor of x plus 3, and we divided, and we came up with what? Our divisor and our quotient, which is cubic polynomial here. Right, there was our quotient. We know again divisor times quotient plus remainder equal our dividend, which again our quartic polynomial was our function f of x. So let's go ahead and break down this cubic. Now we know this cubic polynomial has 3 linear factors, right? It's degree 3, and we know we need 3 more linear factors for this degree 4 polynomial we're trying to factor. So let's go to the next zero we saw, right? From our graph, we pulled another rational zero. We saw -1 was a zero. So again, that implies what? That implies f of -1 equals 0, which implies x minus -1 was a factor, right, of this polynomial. So it implies x plus 1 is a factor. So we can use that to factor this cubic. That's one of the 3 linear factors of this cubic polynomial we'll have. So let's go ahead and set that up. So let's do it with synthetic division. Start to break this one up synthetically. So as we do that, we got what? Our divisor, x plus 1, our factor, for this cubic. We're going to use the number subtracted from x, which is -1, put a little upside down division bar. And we'll line up our coefficients of our quotient, right, which is our dividend here we're dividing into. So we have a 2 for the leading term, coefficient, x cubed. We have the x squared term. It has a coefficient of 1. Let's spread these out so we can easily do synthetic division. We got -7, and then we have a, what, -6. So let's go ahead and show our synthetic division. So as we add, first column we'll bring down to 2, and then we'll multiply with k, 2 times -1, -2. Add up the numbers, and we get what? A -1. What's -1 times -1? -1 times -1 is 1. And as we add -7 plus 1 together, we get -6. And -6 times -1 is +6. And of course, our last column, as we add those numbers together, always gives us our remainder, which again implies f of -1 equals 0. Which implies x minus -1 is a factor, right? And of course, now we know another factor. So that's a factor. We know again this quotient is a factor, right? Remainder 0 is divisible. So what is that quotient? And quotient is right here. We can write it right here beneath it, right? Quotient is 2x squared minus 1x minus 6, right, from synthetic division. So again, as we're looking at our check statement, right, dividend, p of x, always equals divisor times quotient plus any remainder. So in this problem, again, our dividend was this cubic polynomial, 2x cubed plus x squared minus 7x minus 6. So we're trying to factor down to its 3 linear factors. Well, divisor was what? X plus 1 times our quotient, which was 2x squared minus x minus 6. So again, plus the remainder, which we don't have. Well, we can stop there. Now, if we notice, we've got a linear and quadratic factor. Let's go ahead and break that down. It's quadratic, we can easily factor. So let's factor this quadratic trinomial. So as we go back to factoring quadratics from earlier in the semester, we know our front terms, 2x and x, need to make that product 2x squared. And our goal is to find a factor combination of 6, like 1 and 6, or 2 and 3. Well, we can work with, what, 2 and 3? All right, see if we can work with that. So with 2 and 3, can we use that combination to get an outer and inner product to make a middle term coefficient of -1? Well, we can. If we put a 2, right, here on the outside, and we put a 3 on the inside, right, what would we have here for our product? Outer product would be 4x. Inner product would be 3x. Well, yeah, we can combine those. 3x minus 4x makes -1x. So we're going to need a minus with the 2, and we're going to need a plus with the 3. So we just factored that quadratic. Well, here are our 3 linear factors for that cubic. So back to our polynomial, Well, let's go back to f of x up here at the example. So we can go up here and write it right beneath it. F of x equal to x plus 3 times, what, x plus 1 times 2x plus 3 times x minus 2. Right, they're the four linear factors for this degree 4 quartic polynomial that we were given in f of x. And again, our four zeros, right, -3, -1, remember 2? We didn't use 2 in our division, but we saw that earlier in the graph. And if you go back to the graph, 2x plus 3, right, when does that equal 0? 2x plus 3 equals 0 when 2x equal -3, or x equal -3 halves, which is -1.5, which is our other 0. If you look back on the graph of this function, right, let's go back to it. -1.5, right, is that other 0. So again, as you see, we're using polynomial division. We factored this degree 4 polynomial into its four linear factors. So again, a way to apply division in factoring.